because I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary. Nobody can touch me.
Hey there, wrestling fans. It is I, CM Jew, here with your New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 update for the G1 28 tournament. This will be covering the first two nights, the first night of A block and of B block. So if you've not seen it, there will be spoilers. So maybe not watch this yet, or of course, hopefully, if you are watching this, you're using this to keep up in case you can't watch. So, first off, the first match of the first night started with A block. We had Toby Makabe versus Yoshi-Hashi. This is a very good opening match, with Yoshi-Hashi showing sort of a new attitude that kept Makabe on the rope for most of it. But, you know, ultimately, Makabe was able to use his power to come back, hit a spider suplex, and of course that King Kong knee drop to get the win. So, a very good opening match. And really a surprise to see Yoshi-Hashi actually have a very good match as well, as he's not had good matches throughout the year so far. The next match was Hangman Page from the Bullet Club facing Bad Luck Fale, who is now part of the sort of new offshoot of the Bullet Club, the Firing Squad, which is of course features all the Tongans. This was a good match as far as the sort of storyline of the sort of civil war that is breaking up Bullet Club, with ultimately Tangaloa coming out and Tamatanga coming out and them jumping Hangman Page as he was starting to get the upper hand on Bad Luck Fale and then beating him down, which of course drew out Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and Chase Owens, and you know, they chased him off. So, sorry, something got in my eye. Probably a cheer for the Bullet Club. But so as far as the storyline, the match was good in sort of continuing that. Hangman Page, of course, being his debut, got his first 2 points in the G1 tournament. And so, maybe not a match you need to see, but as far as if you're keeping up on that sort of storyline of the Bullet Club, you know, is worth watching in that sense. The next match of the evening will be Michael Elgin versus Evil from Los Ingobernables de Japón. And this was a really good match. I dare say it was the best match of night one for the A block. Really good back and forth. Loved the work, sort of storyline work on Michael Elgin's arm by Evil. That took up the main part of the match. And the real question of can Elgin's power overcome sort of his pain tolerance here. Really good work there. And yeah, the great story back and forth there, and then of course the big build up to the end of counter after counter as each tried to hit another big move after another big move to put the other away. Evil trying to continue to hit everything is Evil, but ultimately not, as Michael Elgin was to hit two big powerbomb maneuvers, including the big Elgin sit-out powerbomb for the win. Our next match was probably the biggest surprise, as far as I'm concerned, of the evening. That could be argued. You had Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Minoru Suzuki, and just like their last match, this match was filled with pain and suffering and everything, and you fearing for Tanahashi's life. It was a really good match, really good storytelling as part of the match, with Suzuki just going back after the knee that he brutally damaged when he took the IWGP Intercontinental title from Tanahashi a couple months back, and just putting Tanahashi in pain, but then a out of nowhere inverted dragon screw leg whip from Tanahashi that put Suzuki in immense pain, led to his downfall, and a couple of high-five flows from Tanahashi picking up a surprise win, I think. A lot of people didn't suspect Tanahashi to win against Suzuki with the role that Suzuki was on. Great surprise there, and a very good match, particularly in storytelling, which in general, I felt that the A block was more of sort of the better storytelling matches, even if wrestling-wise they didn't have better matches than Block B. But again, we'll get to the greatness that was Block B. But there's a lot of storytelling in these A block matches. And that continues with the final match of the evening as Kazuchika Okada faced off against Chaos stable member Jay White, who really being a pain in a lot of Chaos members' ass. And again, the story here of Jay White and what he told Okada when he joined so many months back, that he was basically coming for him. And again, Jay White may be the best heel in New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. Again, just continued a very dangerous style on the outside. That's endangering a lot of people, though here I'm sure everybody knew it was coming, so at least unlike JR and his partner, they were able to protect themselves. It would be nice though if maybe they would have told Barrett and JR so they could protect themselves. Yes, I'm still angry about what happened on the G1 special in San Francisco. Check into the next episode of CM Drew's Wrestling Reviews for more on that. Because I have a lot to say about Jay White, the professionalism of New Japan on that. But that's a whole different story. In regards to this match, it was very well done. So again, the build-up back and forth, and Jay White definitely looks a lot more better than sort of the match he had with Tanahashi way back at Wrestle Kingdom. He's grown so much. It was a very good match, and again, the storytelling here was excellent. With that, let's move on to the first night for B Block, and the very first match might be the surprise match of the two evenings, and I would dare argue one of the best matches of the first two nights, as Tomohiro Ishii faced against Toru Yano. Yes, I'm daring to say that Toru Yano's match probably was the best match of the two nights, and that's because of just the shock and surprise of the amount of wrestling that happened. Toru Yano actually wrestling more than really actually doing his thieving stuff, though his thieving stuff was there, but again, pulling out surprise suplexes like belly to belly, overheads and everything like Ishii, really taking Ishii's game and throwing it back in his face, and also sort of storytelling of his respect for his tag team partner of wrestling him straight up rather than trying to cheat. But sort of the odd thing here coming to be that it took Ishii taking a page out of Yano's book with a low blow while the referee wasn't looking, with a back kick to the balls, shall we say, and then a roll up to get the win. Really loved the match. It was a great back and forth, and it was just, because you didn't expect it early on. You expected all types of trickery. You didn't expect the amateur wrestling background to come out, and the overhead belly to belly to Ishii was sort of a big pop throughout the entire building. So that was just a great match and a great way to open the night. We then follow that up with Tonga Toa versus Juice Robinson, the current IWGP United States champion. This again was another good match. Again, Tonga's sort of defensive style versus Juice's flamboyant style. They had great contrast to it, and of course the constant storytelling of Robinson not being able to use his left arm because he's still in the cast, or left fist, I should say, because it's in a cast. And again, all that storytelling. And of course, you also had the sort of storytelling of Bullet Club in there as well, in the way Tonga was acting and things he was saying and everything. So, and that was just a fun match. But I definitely think it was the weakest match of the first night at B Block. And for good reason, because as good as that match was, everything else was just absolutely amazing. We start off with Hiroki Goto versus Sonata in just a barn burner of a match that went back and forth and back and forth. And that finish where they're countering, and then he hooks Sonata on the ropes, hits the GTR, and then hits the traditional GTR, the Goto Revolution. Just a great way to finish it, and just back and forth. And Sonata is just so smooth in his wrestling. Absolutely great match. can't say enough about it. By the way, Hiroko Goto, the current IWGP Never Openweight champion. Of course, the Intercontinental champion is Chris Jericho, and he's not in the tournament. That takes us to the next match in a rematch of a matchup that happened at last year's tournament. That, of course, for all of us who watched the Cruiserweight Classic was very sad, wasn't the finals. That, of course, being Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Again, these two put on an absolutely spectacular wrestling clinic and great back and forth here with Zack Sabre Jr. controlling most of the time with his wonderful wrestling skills. But Kota Ibushi and that fighting spirit just overpowering him in the end and hitting that massive to the heavens knee strike that he now his finisher, and just the thud on that as it hit, and like you knew it was over. But just a great wrestling match of Kota fighting through Zack Sabre Jr.'s wrestling holds to be able to pick up the win, and like just countering through and maintaining control of the arms to hit that knee strike. And then of course we finish the evening with a rematch of the finals from last year's G1. The defending G1 tournament champion in Tetsuya Naito versus the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega. And again, these two are amazing. You know, I know that Dave Meltzer gives all these stars to Okada and Omega and Okada, but I dare anybody to argue with me that Omega's better matches are with Naito than it is with Okada, because there's a lot of slow spots when he faces Okada, something that, like I said before, they rectified in that Dominion match with sort of multiple falls so they could take rest. But like there's, with a 30-minute time limit, this was just an absolute barn burner, going back and forth. The great wrestling ability of both Omega and Naito, along with the great charisma and chemistry and just style that goes from both of them. I was pulling for Naito to win. Unfortunately, it was Omega who, with a final V-trigger knee, including one to the back of the head, set Naito up for the one-winged angel and got the win. But damn if it wasn't close and almost went to a draw. So much excitement. The first two nights were absolutely amazing. Both are must-watch. And the 28th G1 tournament is off to a roaring start. Excuse me. And by the way, I said roaring, not rolling, as opposed to the rolling elbow. Isn't that right, Cassius Ohno? Well, that is it for this G1 update. This is a little thing that I'll be doing for the G1 tournament. I'll probably be doing like every couple of days to cover each night for each block. So stay tuned for that. As for the CM Juice Wrestling Reviews podcast, I will be doing it, but look for us to be switching to video in the future, which this is partially a test for. I hope you enjoyed it. Please follow the site at www.an.132productions.com. And until the next G1 update, remember, I am the most glorious Jew that ever lived.